Put it down for sign. That was me. Yeah, I sat down.
Good morning. Please stand and join us. We're going to teach you a couple new songs this morning. Please stand. And if I could get the slides forward in 2 slides. Go on in 2 slides. On this first song, we're going to teach you that part, and then we'll start at the top. All right. That works right there. That works. Okay. So give me some bass. God gave me 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. You got it? Pretty well? So let's back up to the first slide. To the first slide, yeah. God gave me 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. Ooh, strong group. Here we go. God gave me 2 ears to hear the word and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. So you got the pattern. We're gonna be stacking them up. Here we go. God gave me 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. God gave me 2 hands to work for justice, 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. You sound good. God gave me 2 lips to sing hallelujah, 2 hands to work for justice, 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. One more. Got some legs? God gave me 2 legs to keep things moving, 2 lips to sing hallelujah, 2 hands to work for justice, 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. Ooh, give yourselves a hug. Have a seat.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. I'm Beth Bottorff-Seidenspinner. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. So would you all please join me in waving to our online friends? Hello. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we truly appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you. So before we begin our service, let's take a moment and check out our cell phones. Let's make sure that they're completely off. We know we get calls, but let's keep it in the room. So this morning, we have a special guest, and I'd like you to join me in welcoming Karen Taylor-Goode. Karen is a Grammy-nominated musician who has graced New Thought churches around the country with her poignant and inspiring music and Sunday morning sermons in song. As a vocal artist, Karen has had jingles on national radio and television for United Airlines, Taco Bell, and many more. She has recorded with notable performers such as Dolly Parton, Al Green, and Willie Nelson. And as a solo artist, Karen has had 9 nationally charted singles and has garnered several Songwriter of the Year awards. Welcome, Karen. So let's open our service by focusing our intention through our opening affirmation. Please join me in prayerfully and powerfully speaking it together 3 times. There is only one presence and one power in my life, and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Again. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And once more. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And let's continue by reading aloud the statement of our unity. God's love is within each of us, guiding us to dynamically express our wholeness, wisdom, and abundance. We acknowledge the universal wisdom in the Christ teachings and in all spiritual paths. I now choose to open to the presence of divine love and to be changed at depth. Throughout this sacred time, God is uplifting me, and through my heart, the world. And now, Jeannie Fusion, our heart minister, will read our daily word.
The word for today is inner peace. The silence is a period of meditation during which my thoughts are withdrawn from the external world and concentrated on the inner truths of God. The indwelling presence of God is the very essence of the silence. As I meditate, I sense God's presence as stillness. My mind is quiet. If I have been experiencing unsettledness in my life, I devote time today to silent prayer. In the silence, I invite compassion, wisdom, and grace into my heart and mind. I step fully into the kingdom of God within me. Centered in the power of God, I gather strength and clarity. By choosing to go within rather than to react, I experience the peace of God. From this space of peace, I respond to life with love. The scripture, the fruit of Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness. Galatians 5:22. And the affirmation for today is, in the silence, my heart and mind are centered in God. Together, in the silence, my heart and mind are centered in God. And again, in the silence, my heart and mind are centered in God.
So I invite you to just take this in, and by way of teaching it to you. You are love, you are strength, you are forgiveness, you are love, and I can see you as you are. Now I invite you to look toward a neighbor. If you're comfortable, look at them. Yeah. You are love, you are strength, you are forgiveness, you are forgiveness, you are love, you are love. I can see you, I can see you as you are. Can you feel that? So now put your hand over your heart. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Breathe this as you sing it to you, for you. I am love, I am strength, I am forgiveness, I am love, and I can see me as I am. Lovely. So now let's breathe out and send that out to the planet. We are love. We are strength. We are strength. We are forgiveness. We are love. And I can see us as we are. Let's send that out even further. We are love. We are strength. We are strength. We are forgiveness. We are forgiveness. We are love. And I can see us. And I can see us as we are. And I can see us as we are.
So I'm going to highlight a few upcoming events. The details of these and other wonderful activities are in your bulletin and on our website. But first of all, it's Birthday Sunday. So those of you born in August, please stand.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
You still have an opportunity to sign up this week for C, Spiritual Education Enrichment classes. Please visit our C team on the patio after services. Come join the fun at Italian Night Rockin' Rigatoni on Saturday, September 10th. It's an Italian buffet, music, comedy, singing waiters, and much, much more. Tickets are on sale today on the patio and in the book center this week. And now, I'll ask Louise DeLue.
Come on in, we're going to miss the boat.
Hi, I'm David DeLue.
And I'm Louise DeLue.
We're the two DeLues. And we're saying toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Because we're going on the Unity, Cruise the World, on the Love Boat, dinner, and auction.
When is it?
Saturday evening, October 15th.
And where do we board?
We board at Center Concord. You know, follow the ocean as it crosses Ignacio Valley Road to the big dock right next to the bowling alley.
It's going to be so much fun, so save the date, October 15th.
We'll enjoy music, food, and decorations from our ports of call around the world.
And we'll be dazzled by our own Mark Martinez at the South Pacific Lounge.
And we're going to bid on amazing items donated by you, our wonderful Unity community, and by local merchants.
Tickets will go on sale at the beginning of September on the patio and in the bookstore.
But for now, we need all of you to stop by our table outside to see how you can make this a fantastic voyage.
We need your donations for the auction.
And if you don't know what to donate, boy, have we got ideas for you.
And we have many, many volunteer opportunities.
Volunteering will make the event so much nicer for you.
So, if nothing else, stop by our table and say hi.
Toodaloo!
And a final announcement, you can purchase Karen Taylor-Goode's CDs after service in the book center. So if you're here for the first time with us, we invite you to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Oh, indeed, great. So please keep your hand in the air while our ushers bring you a gift of a chalet. We appreciate you being with us here today, and we want to affirm on that chalet, we share with you a saying that says, God, just as God has a design for every shell of the sea, so God has a design for your life. We have a new blessing, which we'd like to extend to you. We open our arms and we say together, we love you, we bless you, and we behold the light of God shining through you. Thank you. So let's take a moment to greet each other.
Don't you know? Spirit loves to dance. Everybody knows Spirit loves to dance. I shine, feet dance, heart sing, when given a chance, Spirit loves to dance. Everybody sings, Spirit loves to dance. Don't you know now? Spirit loves to dance. Oh yeah, now Spirit loves to dance. One more time. Spirit loves to dance. Oh yeah, Spirit loves to dance. Everybody sing, Spirit loves to dance. Oh yeah, Spirit loves to dance. To the top, I shine, feet dance, heart sing, when given a chance, the Spirit loves to dance. Don't you know now? Spirit loves to dance. Spirit loves to dance. Don't you know? Spirit loves to dance. Everybody now, Spirit loves to dance. Oh yeah, Spirit loves to dance. Spirit loves to dance. Everybody knows Spirit loves to dance. All right.
So now I'd like to invite Karen Taylor-Goode to the platform to prepare for our time of prayer and meditation.
Good morning.
Good morning.
musical meditation this morning. I had a significant birthday recently, quite significant. And I was doing okay until I picked up a People magazine. And they have this feature, looking good at any age. And then they have the row of 20-somethings, and the row of 30-somethings, and the row of 40-somethings, and the row of 50-somethings, and then it stops. And then I chanced to pick up yet another magazine that had an article about skin care, taking care of your skin at every age. And it told you how to take care of your 20-year-old skin, your 30-year-old skin, your 40-year-old skin, your 50-year-old skin, and then it stopped. It was rather shocking. And I happened to be hanging out with my sweet friend and soul sister, Karen Drucker. And Karen said, you know, we need to write a song for you. We need to write a song to remind you of the truth. And I just want to say that I think all of us need a trusted friend from time to time to remind us of the truth. And I hope you'll allow me to be that trusted friend for you during this meditation. So if you've been beating yourself up about anything, about a recent birthday perhaps, or what the scale said this morning, or any club that you choose to beat yourself with, here comes the truth. And I'd like you to take these words as your own. I am a gift, no matter what age, no matter how I look, no matter what I weigh. I am a gift, and I promise every day, when I look in the mirror, I'll say, I am a gift. You sing that line with me. I am a gift. One more time. I am a gift. I am a gift. I've loved really well, and every year I've lived has a different tale to tell. I've made mistakes, have some regrets, but I promise I'll never forget. I am a gift. Sing that one. I am a gift. One more time. I am a gift. There may be times when I forget the truth about me, when it seems time and youth are just marching on without me. That's when I might need you to find me and ever so gently remind me that I am a gift. I'm God's precious child. I was put here on this earth, but only for a while. So I make this vow, and I say it with love. I am perfect and whole and enough, and I am a gift. Sing that one with me. I'm perfect and whole and enough. I am perfect and whole and enough, and I'm a gift, and I am a gift. That's the truth. I am a gift. Everybody take a deep breath. So I invite you to say that to yourself every day, several times a day, to remind yourself of the truth. It's so clear to see in other people, isn't it? And sometimes it's so hard to see in ourselves. Well, let's come back in this room. I am thrilled to be here with you this morning, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm on my way down to Asilomar for the first time. I'll be heading down there this afternoon, and I appreciate Megan so much for, where are you, Megan? Right here. Hi, honey. For making it possible for me to come. So I want you to know some stuff about me, and I think the easiest way to do that, since I've already written it, is just to share the story with you. And it's called Unanswered Prayers. I feel very blessed indeed to be doing what I love to do. Writing songs that matter to me, singing them myself, and putting them out to the world to do good. I have discovered my gift. Finally. It did take me a while. I always knew that I had been given the gift of a good singing voice. Well, okay then, said I in my early 20s. I'll be in Holiday Inn cover bands singing Proud Mary to really drunk people until 2 in the morning. That must be what I'm supposed to do with this gift. Well, it didn't take me long to figure out that wasn't quite right. In my mid-20s, I moved to Memphis, and I began to use my voice in a different way. I punched a time card at 8:30 in the morning. I went in the studio and sang whatever was put in front of me. KELP, El Paso, WSIX, Nashville. And endless jingles touting dog food, toilet paper, etc., until 3:30 in the afternoon when I punched out. It felt a little more right than the Holiday Inn gigs, but not much. I turned 30. Nashville was right down the road. Okay, I'll bet I'm supposed to be a country music star. I forgot to ask myself some pertinent questions like, Karen, do you really want to be a country music star? Do you want to be on a bus 285 days a year? Do you like singing songs that other people write for you? But I had no choice, for I had not been chosen to be a writer of songs. That gift was reserved for the few, the blessed, the truly talented. 4 years and 10 nationally charted country radio singles later, I was actually nominated for an Academy of Country Music Award. Best New Female Artist. At last. This would be it. This was why I had been given a voice. I was supposed to sing other people's songs and get played on the radio and be cute and sexy and famous. I went to a psychic. She told me I was going to win. And I shall put a PS in here for you. It's not just that I wanted to win that award. I needed to win that award because I had gotten this far on my own record label, which was funded by my own pocketbook. I was borrowing all this money from the bank, and the banks were starting to call, and they wanted their money back. And I knew if I won this award that a major label in Nashville would have no choice but to sign me, right? And then I'd pay all the money back and the rest would be history. Okay. There I was. I went out to LA, among the stars. This is it. Here goes. Live. Network TV. I did my performance. I went backstage and I waited to hear my name called. And the winner is Nicolette Larson. Oh no, this just can't be. This was my award. This was my path. What happened? What went wrong? I spiraled down into a deep, dark depression which lasted for months and months. Thanks a lot, God, I cried. You gave me this voice and I've tried and tried to figure out why, but nothing I do works out. I was hurting so deeply that I needed to do something. I needed to express what I was feeling. I needed to write it down. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. Then I began to read what I was writing, and I wondered, could it be? I crept over to the piano in the dark of one night, writings in hand, and I nervously, cautiously put my hands to the keyboard. The music came pouring out. The words turned into song lyrics. I sang my words about what was in my heart, set to my music. And the world came into focus, and I knew why I was here. I'm getting better every day at trusting that there really is a plan. And that even though I have no idea what it looks like, somebody clearly does. I knew all the answers, the way my life should go. And when I used to say my prayers, I would tell God so. It seemed He wasn't listening. I thought He didn't care. Looking back, it's plain to see He was always there. 'Cause I prayed for strength, and I got pain that made me strong. I prayed for courage and got fear to overcome. When I prayed for faith, my empty heart brought me to my knees. I don't always get what I want, I get what I need. Now I'm not saying that it's easy or that it doesn't hurt. When nothing seems to go my way, nothing seems to work. But these days I'm getting better at going with the flow, accepting that sometimes the answer to a prayer is no. 'Cause I prayed for strength, and I got pain that made me strong. I prayed for courage and got fear to overcome. When I prayed for faith, my empty heart brought me to my knees. I don't always get what I want, I get what I need. Every time I've had a door slammed in my face, in time a better one was opened in its place. When I prayed for strength, I got pain that made me strong. I prayed for courage and got fear to overcome. When I prayed for faith, my empty heart brought me to my knees. I don't always get what I want, I get what I need. No, I don't always get what I want, I get what I need. Love note. If you are feeling battered and bruised from all the doors slamming shut in front of you, hang in there. Those doors are closing for a reason. You are a precious child of God, and you are being pushed, nudged, and guided toward your destiny. Okay. So that whole scene, it was obviously such a God thing, wasn't it? I mean, it was such a wonderful God setup. And so I wish I could tell you that I learned in that moment to stop writing scripts for my life, that I started meditating for an hour every morning, and just listening to the voice. Yeah, well, of course, I would be lying. No, I just wrote a new script, and my new script was, well, now that I'm a songwriter, I'm going to be a rich and famous songwriter overnight. It's not quite the way it happened. So, the way I this was in 1984, oh my God, I'm old, was when I was up for this award. And so for the next 5 years, I worked really hard. I was writing songs and taking songwriting workshops and getting better and getting better. And the way I was feeding my songwriting habit, I kept an apartment up in Chicago. I had moved up to the big time. And I was singing nationally to the whole nation. I was singing some really important messages like this. Taco salad, ooh, what a treat, made just for you in a bowl you can't eat. Taco Bell, it's just made for you. Yeah. Which was certainly feeding my bank account, but not my soul, because every weekend I would go back to Nashville, and I was going to church services, and I was taking classes. I would go to Unity and Religious Science, and I was learning these fabulous principles like follow your bliss, and the money will come. Yeah? Leap, and the net will appear. So in 1989, I leapt. I announced to the entire jingle business in Chicago that I was quitting, that I was moving to Nashville full-time to be the songwriter I was destined to be. I forgot one very important fact. How do you get a songwriter's attention in Nashville? Oh, waiter! Yes, I forgot that everybody in Nashville is a songwriter. So I was writing songs and they were getting better and nobody cared. I couldn't get arrested. So it was 1992 and all the Taco Bell money was gone. All the United Airlines money was gone. My husband Dennis was playing his trombone as hard as he could. His lips were bleeding. But we were sinking really fast. So one Friday afternoon, I went to see a bankruptcy attorney. I didn't know what else to do. So the following Sunday morning, when the alarm went off, and I was supposed to attend one of these positive, uplifting church services, I said, forget it. This stuff is stupid, and it obviously doesn't work. And I tried to go back to sleep, and I heard this little voice, and the little voice said, go to church. And I said, no, I'm depressed. And the voice got louder, and it said, go to church. I did everything I could to not listen to that voice. I put pillows over my head. But the voice got louder. It finally got so loud, I had no choice. I went to church, and I was not happy to be there. So Reverend Mitch was giving an amazing talk that day. Reverend Mitch, who, by the way, came to Nashville to be a songwriter, thank you. He gave an amazing talk about saying yes to life and how often we all say no, unconsciously even, right? And what's the first word we all learn as toddlers? No. So at the end of this fabulous service, he said, how many of you are willing to raise your hands and take a pledge that for 1 week out of your life, one small week, 7 days, you will say yes to life as often as you can? Well, I was so into it, I raised my hand and I took the pledge. So right after the service was over, this woman walks up to me. I hardly knew her. She says, Karen, you're a songwriter, right? Yeah. She says, well, I have a friend who's coming to town, and he's just a new songwriter, just getting started. Actually, he's an actor from LA, so will you write with him? You should have heard the committee that lives in my mind. Shouting, no, I don't want to write with this guy. He's not even a real songwriter yet. And not only that, he's an actor from LA. He's probably a big jerk. He's probably got this huge ego. No, shouted my committee. However, I had just taken the pledge. Let me tell you how I was not happy. Oh man, I gritted my teeth and I said, yes, I'll write with him. And the whole time I'm thinking that I will have this untalented, egotistical jerk over to my house for a cup of coffee, and then I would send him home. Oh my goodness. Not the way it happened. His name is Burton Collins. Can I get a little more of this mic in there? Thanks, Jack. His name is Burton Collins, and he was a very nice guy. And he was a good good songwriter. And he came to my house with an idea. He said, Karen, I've had this idea. Do you think it would make a good song? He said, I want to write a song about my grandmother. I was very close to her. She practically raised me. And about a year ago, I was with her in the hospital, and she was dying. And she looked at me and saw that I was having such a hard time. She looked at me and said, Burton, how can I help you say goodbye? He said, do you think that would make a good song? Well, I had major God bumps. 4 hours later, that song was completed. 1 month later, I was signed to a fabulous deal at Warner Chappell Music, the world's largest music publisher. The song went on to be a #1 hit for Patti Loveless on the country charts. It's also been recorded by Al Jarreau and Laura Branigan, lots of European artists. One of the things, I think the coolest, it's on karaoke machines everywhere. And yes, I have gone into a bar here and there and sung it. And people are always amazed that I know the lyrics so well. And then 10 years after the fact, the song brought me to what has become now one of my great joys, and that's helping raise awareness for hospice. Think about it. Who are the real live angels on this planet who help us to say goodbye, right? So the miracles about this song continue. I think there are two very important morals to the story. I think that one of them needs to be say yes to life. And when you leave here today, you might want to consider making this the week that you say yes to life as often as you can. I think there's another important moral, and I know that Reverend David would agree, and I believe that one is go to church. Of our 59 wagon, I watched my best friend Jamie slipping further away. I kept on waving till I couldn't see her. Then through my tears I asked again why we couldn't stay. Mama whispered softly, time will ease your pain. Life's about changing, nothing ever stays the same. And she said, how can I help you to say goodbye? It's okay to hurt, and it's okay to cry. Come, let me hold you, and I will try. How can I help you to say goodbye? Then he quickly walked away. I called up Mama. She said, time will ease your pain. Life's about changing. Nothing ever stays the same. And she said, how can I help you to say goodbye? It's okay to hurt, and it's okay to cry. Come, let me hold you, and I will try. How can I help you to say goodbye? Sitting with Mama, alone in her bedroom, She opened her eyes and then squeezed my hand. She said, I have to go now. My time here is over. And with her final words, she tried to help me understand. I called up. I can't believe it. Mama whispered softly, time will ease your pain. Life's about changing, nothing ever stays the same. And she said, how can I help you to say goodbye? It's okay to hurt, and it's okay to cry. Come, let me hold you, and I will try. How can I help you to say goodbye? Okay, I didn't do this in the first service, but I feel so moved to do this now. Because I don't know if I actually, I don't think I ever would have said yes unless, honest to God, I had taken that pledge. So, I love my Unity people. Anybody who wants to play, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. And in just a minute, and you're going to repeat after me something like, I, Karen Taylor-Goode, or whatever your name is, promise myself that for the following week, I will say yes to life as often as I can. Okay? All right, raise your hand if you want to play. Woohoo! Look at this. This is why I love, put your hands down for a second. This is why I love my New Thought audiences. One time I was doing a hospice event somewhere in the South. I won't name the name of the town, I won't name the denomination of the church, but I was asked to come and speak at a different kind of church. And I got to this point, and I said, so raise your hand and we'll take the pledge. Not one hand went up. I was mortified. It was the worst moment of my life. That's why I love you guys. Okay, here we go. Because you guys like to play. Here we go. Whatever your name is, Karen Taylor-Goode, promise myself that for this coming week, 7 small days of my life, I will say yes to life. As often as I can. Woohoo! Wow. Please, okay, if you have any miracles, please email me, okay? I want to know. All right, so these days, it's not about being famous anymore. Thank God I got over that. These days, it's about getting these songs, so many songs, like 800 songs, that are sent to me, getting them out to the world. So the prayer, that somewhere in my prayers always is something about, help me get my songs out to more people. So a while back, I was getting ready to say my prayers, and the prayer I really wanted to pray that day was this. I really wanted to say, so God, if I could just be on Oprah. And that committee that was in my mind did just that. It cracked up. And I got so embarrassed, and I was like, ooh, that's really pushing, Karen. And besides that, everybody wants to be on Oprah. So I backed way off, and I rather sheepishly and shyly ended up praying something like this. So, I don't know, like, God, maybe if I could be on TV. I learned in that moment that we must be very specific with our prayers. Because it wasn't 2 months after that I was invited to be on the Home Shopping Network. And trust me, Oprah, it ain't. So I knew that we needed a song. You could start this track. We needed a song to remind us that if we're going to play on this planet, we might as well learn to think big and play big. I was standing by this fisherman out there on the bridge. He bagged small one after small one, them in his little fridge. Then he caught himself a whopper, and I watched him throw it back. I couldn't help but ask him, "Hey man, why'd you do that?" Well, he pulled out this little skillet and said, "See, it wouldn't fit. It was none of my business, but I couldn't help but wish you'd get a bigger pan. Get a bigger pan. When you got big dreams, for heaven's sake, don't throw those dreams back in the lake. It's not that you can't have it all. You've just been dreaming way too small. So get a bigger pan. Get a bigger pan." Well, I've been thinking like that fisherman more times than I can count. Every time I felt unworthy and ran myself down, I'd get afraid and wouldn't play what I had there on the line, thinking that the big fish couldn't possibly be mine. But there's another fish to fry, and there's another day. Next time I hook the big one, I won't let him get away. I'll get a bigger pan. Get a bigger pan. 'Cause I got big dreams, for heaven's sake. Won't throw those dreams back in the lake. It's not that I can't have it all. I've just been dreaming way too small. I get a bigger pan. Get a bigger pan. Okay, I've got it figured out. For self-esteem as well as dreams and trout. Get a bigger pan! Get a bigger pan! 'Cause we got big dreams, for heaven's sake. Won't throw those dreams back in the lake. It's not that we can't have it all. We've just been dreaming way too small. Well, get a bigger pan! 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 So I know that sometimes, watch me, there we go. I know that sometimes the songs that come through me are for me, for my healing, but since we are all one, a lot of times they're for you too. And I suspect there are people in this, I can tell, I know, there are people in this audience who are going through the same thing that I went through with my mama. And that's where this song came from. So let me just tell you a little bit about my mama. She passed away last year in January. She was 94. And what a presence she was. She was a Leo. How many other Leos in here? Oh, you know who you are. And she belonged to Mensa, the Society for Genius IQ people. What else? Oh, she made this ring. You see this ring? She made this ring. She was the quintessential Jewish mother. That explains it all, which is why I think of myself as a Junity person. So up until about the last 8 years of her life, I would have used the word sharp to describe her in every way, in every one of her senses. And then not so much at all. She ended up legally blind from macular degeneration and living in a dementia care unit. Now, in spite of 25 plus years of these beautiful teachings, I went to some pretty dark places when this first started happening. I was railing at God saying, what is this? This is so unfair and so mean and so not right. The good news is I didn't stay there long because I know these principles. I have studied these principles. I've seen them work. So they either work all the time, right? Or they don't. So I knew that even in this situation with my mother, there had to be perfection. And I couldn't find it myself. I found it through the writing of this song, and I've never been more grateful to be a songwriter. This is the woman who had all the answers, the one I for comfort, for strength. She's never forgotten one grandchild's birthday. Now she can't remember my name. And it makes me so angry. I shake my fist and cry out to the heavenly one. Why would you play such a cold-hearted trick? I thought your job was to love. And the answer came down from above. She's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. This is the woman who saw things so clearly, the one who could pick out one crumb on the floor. She saw through a white lie, saw me through love's eyes. She hardly can see anymore. And it makes me so sad, and it just isn't fair. Why should so much be taken away? But when I cry out for all that she's lost, I silently hear someone say, she's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. And oh, the wonder she'll see, and I know she'll remember to watch over me. She's gonna fly when her time here is through. First she'll have to let go of some things she can't use. 'Cause people and places, memories and faces are just way too heavy, it seems, to carry on angels' wings. To carry on angels' wings. Love note. If you are going through a difficult time with one of your parents now, if you have become the parent and they the child, if they are not who they were and you find yourself confused, stressed, and angry, I understand. I know this is not easy, and it's all right, and it's perfect. Breathe, cry, go to a ridiculous movie, take a walk, find a support group, consume moderate amounts of chocolate, and take good care of yourself. My heart is with you. Thank you, God. So, you know what's true? This life ain't easy, is it? I mean, it really isn't. And I wonder when the last time you patted yourself on the back and congratulated yourself for still being here. Really, and for doing a great job and for showing up and saying yes and coming to church. because it's not easy. So I know it's hard for us to pat ourselves on the back, but it's so much easier in a song. So I wrote a song to help us, and I'm going to teach it to you. The title of the song is, I Couldn't Have Done It Without Me. And here's how the choruses go. Me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me, 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 me. That's who I'm talking about. So try it with me. Here we go. Me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me, 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 me. That's who I'm talking about. That's excellent. And there's one other part I want to teach you. I'll bring you in like this. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm fabulous. I know that one's hard for many of you. It's very important that you sing this. Here we go. Try it with me. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm fabulous. Excellent. I will see you guys on the chorus. I'm grateful to God, Mother Earth, Father Time, the universe, whoever it might be. But today I'm thanking the one I usually don't. I couldn't have done it without me. Me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me. Me, me, me. That's who I'm talking about, yeah. That was really good. Doesn't it feel good? My talents might be God-given, and to that I say amen. But it's me who studied and worked and planned, and most times I forget to thank me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me, 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 me. That's who I'm talking about. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm fabulous. This is usually understated. I also think that modesty is highly overrated. I want to give myself equal credit now. Everybody else gets some. Just like snowflakes and grains of sand, there's uniquely only one. Me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me, 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 me. That's who I'm talking about, yeah. Me, 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 me. I couldn't have done it without me, 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 me. Watch this one now. That's who I'm talking. That's who I'm talking. That's who I'm talking about. Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
What a gift. If you'd like prayer support for challenges or celebrations, please ask our heart ministers. They'll be available after the service in the sanctuary and also on the patio. Our heart ministers are those wearing the lavender stoles. You're also invited to place a prayer request in our prayer box by the front door or in the book center, or by selecting prayer request button on our website. We'll be praying with you throughout the week. It's now time for our prosperity celebration. For Love in Action or credit card donations, you'll find an envelope provided on the back of each chair. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware that God is the source of all our good. So let's repeat our affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I
I give and all that I receive.
And I am grateful.
I get to sing one more song. Okay, I just want to tell you a couple things. Your minister, Reverend David, loves you so much. He really does, and he is very careful about who he allows to stand here and minister to you. And I appreciate that, and I know you do too. So if you enjoyed this today, please thank Megan, who worked very hard to get me here, and I appreciate it so much. One other thing, a couple other things. How many of you think you know who the Lions are? Lions Club. How many of you think it's an organization for older men? Many of you. Guess what? It's not. It's like 30% women and growing. Did you know that the Lions recently took over from the Red Cross, named the #1 service organization in the world? That there are 1.35 million Lions in 206 different countries? It's a fabulous organization, and a very important person who is one of my mentors in the Lions, because I have joined, and I am now one, and I've written a couple songs for the Lions. I just think they're fabulous. My dear Dr. Bill Iannacone, stand up, and if anybody wants to know about the Lions, they can come to you afterwards. They're leaving on Friday for Bosnia to take like 14,000? Serbia, excuse me. I knew it was a something, yeah.
14,000 pair of eyeglasses.
Pairs of eyeglasses over there. I mean, they do amazing things. Anyway, and my last piece of information is, because it gets very confusing, there is a CD inside this book as well, with all the songs that, well, not all of them, but a bunch of them. And then all the rest are back there, and I'll be back there after I hug everybody to sign anything you want. Okay, now all I have left is a little bluegrass God song, because I come from Nashville and I had to do it. I was feeling kind of down and like nobody really cared. So I crawled under the covers where I could say my prayers. I said, God, if you love me, why don't you show a sign? I fell asleep soon after, and this dream came to my mind. I found myself in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's, and he took me by the hand and led me to his kitchen. And taped up to this giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid, and every drawing that I ever did was for her. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater than seeing yourself on God's refrigerator. Well, I had no idea that God saw me as his child, or that he was thinking of me so dearly all the while. But there I was up on that door for all the world to see. I was precious to him, and he thought the world of me. There I was in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's, and he took me by the hand and led me to his kitchen. And taped up to this giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid, and every drawing that I ever did was with her. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater than seeing yourself on God's refrigerator. Okay, for the instrumental, stand up if you want to. Clap your hands. If anybody knows how to clog, I expect to see you out here. Aren't there any California cloggers? Yeehaw! I found myself in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's. He took me by the hand and led me to his kitchen. And taped up to this giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid, and every drawing that I ever did was for her. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater, no
can see in your cell phone. God's refrigerator. Oh, just in case you ever feel forgotten and blue. Well, I saw pictures of you up there too.
Singing our children a blessing. Children,
You are loved, special, and important. God loves you, and so do we.
and let us receive our gifts. We give thanks for these gifts and commit them to expanding the consciousness of the love in this world. Thank you. And now, our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I have one quick announcement also before we sing. We need volunteers to help lift the piano off the stage at the end of service. So please meet on the front steps. Your help would be greatly appreciated. And now for our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God ever present, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the love and the light and the peace in the world right now. So let it shine and have fun.
God gave me one heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. God gave me 2 ears to hear the word and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. God gave me justice, 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life. 2 legs and God gave me 2 legs to keep things moving, keep things moving. Hallelujah. 2 hands to work for justice, 2 eyes to see the miracles, 2 ears to hear the word, and 1 heart to love you. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day. I'm gonna do that every day of my life.